Hello, hello. Welcome to the live show. Uh, Today we are here to discuss Weather by Jenny Offill. First of all, please let me know if you see this mirrored or not, and if you can hear me and see me well, or if there is some sounds in the background that disturb you because the window is open and I hear some noises from outside. So let me know. Otherwise, yeah, we are here to discuss this book, which was our pick for January, January, no, July and August of our CliMates Bookclub. And yeah, so this one is a climate fiction book. It's a very short one. I read it very quickly actually. And yeah, so we are here to discuss this. So, welcome, Alex and Jess. So far, you two. Hey, I have about 50 pages left from my book, but I will listen to the discussion. Yeah, very nice. But I mean, you read this. You messaged me like a month ago that you finished this, right? So you're all good. I don't know how much I'll have to say, but I am here. Yeah, I think we'll find things to talk about. If not, it's gonna be a shorter one. That's fine too. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have that much to say either, but we'll see. Everything looks and sounds good to me. Okay. Thank you for confirmation. Um yeah, so I just finished this. I started this yesterday and I finished it like 2 hours ago. And I haven't given it rating yet because I like to do that here with you when we talk about the Copal system. So characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment is what I rated with. This, of course, you probably know, is a rating system created by G from Book Roast. And sometimes, well, I like to do that here as well if he gets time for it, which I think this time we will, because it was a short one. Yes, you did read it. How did you like it, Alex? We can start with that because I talked to Jess about it a little bit. I read it all in one day, so that was nice. Yes, I started yesterday, but like in the afternoon at like 4 p.m. and uh, yeah, I couldn't read as much as I wanted to, but yeah, then I finished today. It took me like 1 hour today to read 60 pages, so yeah, all good. Um, so I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Um, yeah, my entire review was nope. I saw one review like that on Goodreads today. Was that you? Hello, Daniela. Hi. I didn't read the book here just as a silent support. Thank you. We will need it. I think I can say for myself, I do not recommend this book. Anyway, let's go from the scratch. So, um, here are also the support turtles, but um, this book is a climate fiction about Lizzie. We follow her. It's her first person point of view, who works in a library. I think it is in New York City. And at some point, she is asked by a she got asked by like a former mentor of hers to help answer emails that the mentor receives at her podcast called Hell and High Water. So it is very doom focused podcast. And yeah, Lizzie decides to go and help. Even that escalated quite quickly, but she goes and helps. And this, we get a little pieces of what people ask and what Lizzie replies and how it unfolds from there. Um, I think we can talk about talk about it a little bit. I'm not sure how much though. Um, don't read it, Daniela. Yeah, don't. Thank you for coming, support turtles. Yes, thank you. They're always there watching for us, after us, for us, after us. Not looking for us. They're not looking for us. Sorry. Lizzie, I forgot her name already. Good thing you just read it. Yes. Yeah. And it's also the first word on the in the blurb. It's not blurb. It's yeah, description. My nose is tickly. I'm sorry. You're already making it sound so much more interesting than it was. It does sound interesting though. And I think the concept itself is quite interesting to try to follow a person who answers emails from different people who have a different stage of panic when it comes to the state of the world, which I think on its own is what this book club is about. And that's what we talk about in every book discussion. So it sounds very interesting. It just was not done in a way that I would appreciate. And it seems like many others too. Many people loved it. Not me. I'm not gonna hold it the entire time, so I'm gonna put it down. um, okay, it seems like I'm already having more fun than you had reading. That's good. Itchy nose means you're going to have a fight. Get ready, book. She's coming for you. I mean, but that's the problem. I don't, or that's the thing. I don't actually have a problem with the book per se. Like I can pinpoint what I didn't like. Um, or I know what I didn't like, the writing. Otherwise, I don't know. I have couple. Okay, I have here tabs. These tabs are related to, I think, like the contents of the book and the plot that I found interesting. And then down here I have yellow tabs that are just like I had thoughts. And sometimes the thought is just like, what the fuck, and it's just really like so random. Like how the hell? Yeah, here I have a little messed up. No, like really, that's all I've got. And yeah, and I have here on page, what is this, 80, I have what the fuck. You turn a page, page 82 again, what the fuck. I'm like, what's happening? What am I reading? It's so weird. But there were some very nice thoughts, some things that I underlined, some quotes that I would like to take with me, and some thoughts that were like, again, nothing breakthrough. I've read this before, but some interesting ones. Um, so yeah, I have some tabs, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get read yours. I listened to the audio, and I think it took me a few times to realize the random lines were emails. Also, even the audiobook wasn't great. But yeah, like, okay, so to start from the beginning, um, how it's written is this page one. Yes, this is the first page of the book. Well, I'm gonna turn off the comment. This page is, maybe I can put a bit more so it can take us both. This is the first page of the book, and each paragraph is like a separate scene most of the time, most of the entire book. There are some pages when you might have 2 or 3 paragraphs in a row in the same scene following the same kind of thought. Most of them, these little things, are separate thoughts. Most of them don't make any sense. As you read through, they start to kind of follow a certain pattern that you then can follow, and you can understand more what's going on, but it's still very much out of the blue. Everything, nothing makes sense. Well, not nothing makes sense, but like, I don't know. So I think it would be very confusing to listen to an audiobook. I would be like, am I listening to like 10 different audiobooks just mixed up together? Like, it's so weird. Parts of emails. I couldn't even tell. Yeah. Yeah, no, they were, I think they were just not here. They were just like this in the book, like question answer. And I think they were like full emails. It didn't specify anywhere there would be like a separate email like here. So it felt like everyone called insane. Yes. Called her insane. Yes. Um, but she was. Okay, spoiler talk. So, if anyone is here who hasn't read it and would like um, to not get spoiled, if you want to read this, I advise you against reading it. But hence, if you do, um, we're gonna go into spoilers. She was kind of insane, though. Not in a way as you say, like mental health is a joke. I, I think she was a little disturbed, and she needed help definitely, in my opinion. So, but yeah, it was a lot. Oh yes, pet peeve, crazy, insane, etc. Yeah. Sorry about the noise in the background. We're doing laundry apparently. Yeah, although library had was the audio, which was fine, I guess. I don't know, not good, but not bad. Yeah, it's okay. Like mental health is a joke. Yeah, I don't like that, but it was written when in 2020. It was released in 2020, so it was even before pandemic. I don't know. Is that sort of format people call innovative or groundbreaking? But I don't like stream of consciousness type of stuff. If this is stream of consciousness, I don't like it either. But I do like to follow people's mundane activities. So that would, for example, be sorry, I almost dropped it. If you would be talking about Record of a Spaceborne Few, is the third book in Becky Chambers' Wayfarer series, and there you have no plot pretty much. You're just following people's everyday activities, and there are like a certain directions, or like there is a direction that the plot is moving, but it's not. It doesn't feel like that's the point of the book. You're just following these characters, and that I love if it's done well. But if this is like a stream of consciousness that you just have little snippets of the thoughts, I don't like that. That's really weird. And yeah, lots of people say that it's like very, yeah, innovative. And what was it? It's said somewhere. um Tiny in size but immense in scope, radically disorienting yet reassuringly humane, strikingly eccentric, and completely irresistible. Luminous. We read the different books, definitely. Weather has the feel of a classic, the kind of book that future humans will read in order to figure out what people were thinking in the early decades of the 21st century. I don't think so. Offal's fragmentary structure evokes an unbearable emotional intensity, something at the core of the story that cannot be narrated directly by straight chronology, because to do so would be like looking at the sun. I don't know. Exactly, Alex. Um, I was lost at a time or two. I was lost the entire time. So one time. They were all just sort of awful, honestly. Well, mental health diagnosis aside. Yeah, yeah, they were all bad people. Um, I think the only normal person in the book was Ben, the husband, and the kid, Eli. Those to me seem like the only normal people in the book. Otherwise, they all were very unlikable or had some kind of issue that went unaddressed for a long time. I don't know. It was really strange. Wood, happy Labor Day, random human. Happy Labor Day. The husband definitely had something going on though. Therapists existed in 2020 and he needed one. I don't know. I didn't get anything from the husband. Just to me seemed like she was so distant. She was in her own world, and I don't know. I didn't get anything from the husband actually. Interesting. Yeah, if it's done well is the key right there. Yep, yep, yep. Apparently eccentric now also means confusing because okay, yeah, I kind of like the kid. Yes, the kid was cute. I forgot half of the story. I mean, I'm gonna forget tomorrow. I also kept confusing the brother and the husband's names all the time. All the time I had to be like, because Henry here, Henry there, and I'm like, yeah, but wait a minute, this doesn't add up to be her husband. All right, Henry is the brother. When it was Ben, I knew it was the husband. When it said Henry, I thought the husband. Wonder if it's because my boyfriend is Hendrik, so I was like Henry. Weird, but I did keep mixing them up as well. Um, but yeah, I had some. Um, she was really because she was really obsessed with her brother. Yes, she was obsessed with her brother, and I think the husband supported it for like no, I don't know if supported it, but like he supported her in her madness, and it just was getting too much that at some point. So maybe he started to be bored. Like we didn't get much, so whatever was happening, he just left for 3 weeks. I didn't feel like that was in particular like something the husband did wrong. I feel it was more like we saw it coming, and Lizzie just didn't care because she needed to take care of her brother. So I didn't find that weird actually. I don't know. Maybe I missed something with the husband. But what do I have here? Okay, the good person. Here we have Holocene. Um, he's not wrong. Okay, here I have one that says very interesting conversation on these pages. So like this double page, I felt like was very interesting. I think, and then the last sentence was, "These people long for immortality but can't wait 10 minutes for a cup of coffee." So I think this was when they were in the restaurant talking to the investors who wanted, yeah, like invest in what was it? I think Sylvia, the podcaster, wanted to invest in rewilding, and they wanted to invest in like some development or whatever it was. So that was quite interesting discussion. But again, like nothing is developed. It's all just like simple ideas thrown around, and the reader is supposed to make the sense out of it. Combine it together. I feel like that's the author's job. If you have ideas that you want me to share with you, you need to give me the links in between so I can process it. This was just like idea here, idea there, and here is a book. I don't like my books that way. um I don't know if I should try to find something that I was. Yeah, the freeze versus flight reaction. There are lots of things that were just not new whatsoever and like repeated all the time over and over. Yeah, here I had um, on page 73, they were talking about what is on TV and the news, and then I think it was Still, I go on a few trips with Sylvia. One thing that's becoming clear on our travels: people are really sick of being lectured to about the glaciers. Listen, I've heard all about that, says this red faced man. But what's going to happen to the American weather? And then I put the note. Just like you, Lizzie. Because I got the feeling like she was complaining about all these people who are complaining, and then she was exactly the same way. She only cared about herself, felt like to me. So it's just, I don't know. I also didn't understand how long it was when the husband and kid left. Like, was it a vacation, a break from the wife? It said for 3 weeks, and he said that she's welcome to come. So I think he just wanted to get out, yeah, like take vacation and get away from Henry and his drama, um, and maybe like reconnect with the wife. That's the feeling I got. But yeah, Lizzie couldn't go because she had to take care of the brother. So then he went on him by himself for, I think it said 3 weeks, but it seemed longer than that. She had a fling in between. Like, yeah, why should I have a fling? I can do it. I totally can do it. I'm like, girl, you're married. I wanted to slap her. I hated her. As an author, I wonder who the editor was or if it had one. I'm wondering the same thing. Exactly. Um, did he leave her the marriage and then change his mind? Um, I don't think so. I didn't get that vibe, but it could be. Also, you don't have to be a librarian to work at a library, so I don't know why everyone resented her so much. Yeah, and then in the end, somewhere in the last pages, I even crossed it out. I never cross words out from books, but this one I did because I just don't get it. Yeah, there is a bunch of stuff. Yeah, she's talking about a bunch of stuff, and somebody's like, "How do you know all this?" And then she's like, "I'm a effing librarian." That's the conversation, and I'm like, "What did I miss?" So I crossed out the effing. I'm a librarian. That's how I know. Like, what the hell? I don't know. It's just so weird. And why would people resent librarians anyway? I don't get it. I am confused. Dude, I swear some books don't even have editors, just people who check for spelling mistakes. Yeah, felt like it, definitely. I hope my book isn't that bad. Just depends on what you're trying to achieve, I'm sure. I haven't read your book, Alex, so I don't know. I bet it won't be. I just read a book that had span as the past tense of spin. Like she opened the door and I span around. Ugh, it was infuriating. Why not? Yeah, sometimes those are crazy. Oh my god, the potential affair. I was so angry with her. Yes, I was too. Like, you didn't go with your husband because you need to take care of your brother, but then you have time to have a thing with some will. What the hell? I don't know. I was angry too. It was awful, 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 awful. What do I have here? Ah, what the again? What the? I wasn't mesmerized. Yeah, and then I underlined even more male than usual. I'm really hoping all these people who write to Sylvia are crazy, not depressed. Fill in the gaps for me, please. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. Yeah. Yeah, and then once the, what was it, part two? Was it when part two started? Couple pages in. Yeah. There was the election, and I found it kind of weird how she just boldly uses the election and the result of the election as the metaphor for doom. I found it so weird. I don't know. It was really strange to me because, like, I get it if you are trying to bring through some message. It's like you can totally do that. But it's just, I don't know. I found that really strange to use that, like, a dem, democratically, is that the word, chosen president to use as a punching bag, and as a sign of doom. Like, think whatever you want. I am no fan of Trump, but I just find it weird. And then I'm halfway through and I say, I still don't know who Mr. Jimmy is. I'm just reading you my notes. I don't know if you're interested in that whatsoever. And then the other person at the bar was encouraging her. Yeah, I know. What the hell was that? Like, yeah, come on, you can go out, you can do stuff. And she's like, yeah, I totally can do that. Like, no, girl, you're married. Get your shit together. Also, if the husband did invite her to go, why was she like wallowing at the bar? I don't know. It was really strange. It was strange. To be fair, it kind of was like that after the election. Like, I had to tell friends, mostly coworkers though, to not talk about politics in front of me. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. We were joking about it here in Sweden as well. Um, I remember that because we went out to like a Hard Rock Cafe with a friend for the election night, but of course, like, our night comes earlier than your night. So we went home before the election was wrapped up, and it was snowing a lot. It was snowing a lot. I remember that day until now. Like, it was, I remember exactly the date, and which I never do. And it was snowing so much. And then in the morning, like, the buses were cancelled. Nothing went. There was like, I don't know, 1 meter of snow in half a night. It was the biggest snowstorm in recorded Swedish history in Stockholm, of course. So it was the biggest snowstorm in Stockholm that has been recorded, and which has been over 100 years when they started recording these things. So it was the biggest snowstorm in 100 years. And we came to school because, of course, school is not cancelled, even though buses were. Uh, Went to school and the lecture, and the teacher kind of made a joke like, yeah, what is this crazy snowstorm like? Even up there they are angry about the results of the elections or something like that. Like, yeah, I guess. So I get it. And yeah, okay. I'm just wondering, what if, well, okay, maybe people who do support Trump would not read a book like this. But I'm just wondering, like, there were lots of people who voted for Trump and who supported Trump. And imagine them reading a book, and the victory of Trump would be as kind of like a metaphor for doom. It I just don't like it. Like, you might but okay, it's art. Like, they can say whatever they want, right? Like, I'm not gonna be policing, like, you can talk about politics in your book. I'm just not a fan of it. In my personal opinion, I don't like it, but they have freedom to write whatever they want, so I get it. But yeah, I just found it strange. See, even the weather knows it was bullshit. Yep. Yeah. Canada's immigration website crashed when the results came out. Absolutely true story, Sally. I know. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, but I guess a little messed up, no? Well, oh yeah, here was something why I hated the main character. Everything was so green, you wouldn't believe how green it was. Kids outside. And alongside the road there were flowers and vegetables, but no one there minding the stand. Just the box to leave money in, and even that not locked. I should have taken it. And I'm like, excuse you? So far, Lizzie is very unlikable character, I say. So, yeah. I did not like this book, guys. And the more I talk about it, the less I like it. As I said, there are some good quotes that I liked. I'm gonna try to find some actually. Why not? Let's brighten it up, shall we? Or should I leave it for the end? Should I leave it for the end to brighten it up a little bit, or we don't want that? Um, a little over dramatic as always. Um, a time is coming when men will go mad, and when they see someone who is not mad, they will attack him, saying, "You are mad. You're not like us." I like that. That is true. Um, but I have any nice quotes as well. I sure hope so. This is so far the worst discussion we've had, you guys. Like, honestly, there is not much to say about this book. Yeah, there is a paragraph like, what does this have to do with anything? No one knows. I would like to sit down with the writer and go through, like, please tell me what you meant. Yeah, here it is one I liked. Emotional pain comes in waves. Remind yourself that there will be a pause between the waves. I think that's a good reminder, to be honest. It does come in waves. Um, and yeah, here, this one I liked. It was towards the end. It is, he tells me that at the wilderness camp, they teach the kids something called loss proofing. In order to survive, you have to think first of the group. If you look after the needs of others, it will give you purpose, and purpose gives you the burst of strength you need in an emergency. And I thought that was smart and true. I think so, personally, but I have no experience of it. And I don't have anything else annotated, so that's it. That those were the good quotes. Um, I certainly didn't want to read about the election. I thought it was set further in the future, though, because I feel like they mentioned mass extinctions at some point. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. They did mention it, I think, but we are in the midst of mass extinction, actually. It's just happening very slow. Or, I don't know, very slow, but the extinction period is slow. Which, if you would like, actually, thank you. Speaking of, uh, man, wait. If you would like to learn more about the extinction and how that works, and if we currently are in extinction, I don't like my hair. What am I gonna do with that? Okay. For next year, if you would like, let me know. We could put this book to read as a nonfiction, The Sixth Extinction, an Unnatural History by Elizabeth Colbert. Um, and yeah, it is. Over the last half billion years, there have been five mass extinctions on Earth. Scientists around the world are currently monitoring the next one, which is predicted to be the most devastating extinction since the asteroid impact that wiped out the dinosaurs. In the sixth extinction, Elizabeth Colbert combines on the spot field reporting from Central America, the Andes, and the Great Barrier Reef with a history of scientific study to tell the gripping stories of a dozen species whose fates exemplify this enormous change. The sixth extinction is a passionate investigation of the most terrifying extinction in history. We are witnessing not only one of the rarest events in life's history, but one that is likely to be our most lasting legacy. And Elizabeth Colbert is very well recognized in this, in this sphere. So this could be interesting. Um, So, speaking of mass extinctions, I think this could be very useful because I don't think the climate book talked that much about it. So, this would be very interesting, I think. I don't know that much about it myself, but at least I have the book. It tried to talk about issues, but it nearly did the opposite, as in she wanted to be always right. Yes, definitely. In it tried to talk about issues, but I felt like it jumped way too fast. Like, oh, okay, here I'm now. I made my point, but she didn't. Like, I don't know. I just didn't feel it. It it was so strange. Oh, the one time she said she gave the lady a $10 because it was all she had, and every time she gave her less, the lady was disappointed in her. Oh, that was so funny. That was funny actually. Like, oops, I gave her $10. I think she would be disappointed anytime you give her $1 if you're going in your upscale, luxurious clothes, and you give her $1. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I like her mom though. It said that in the end that her mom was giving away what, pairs of socks and like $1 with it or something like that. I mean, it was cute. I remember the bit about madness. I felt like the author was using a different definition of madness than the one I knew. Yeah, I think that actually might be what they say here in the back, that it kind of like describes the descent into madness or something. So I think that that's kind of why the writing was that way, and why it was written that way, why the language she chose was like that, was because she was trying to portray Lizzie's mind degrading over time, working for Sylvie and working for with replying to the emails of people seeing doom coming, and like she kind of, it felt like she imploded on herself, Lizzie. And so I think that's the language she chose because we were in Lizzie's head, so she was not quite right, I think, and she didn't have her climate panic in check. um, that's what I feel like. I still didn't like it, but um, you know wait, was her obsession with addiction to caring for her brother supposed to mirror his addiction to drugs? Oh, damn, just thought of that. Could be. Could be. Yeah, I think so, actually. Now you saying this, I was thinking about it while reading it, but I didn't think of it like, like properly. I just felt it. But now that you say it, yeah, I agree. Interesting. I will read whatever you find. That one does sound interesting, though. Good. I have a bunch of books to read. I have a couple more nonfiction books, and I just ordered some more climate fiction books because I don't have many of those. I have more nonfiction books. So I'm gonna pick some more for next year, but maybe we could do like a poll or something so people can actually vote on which ones they want. Because I don't want to be like, I'm gonna pick from the books that I actually own, but from those anyway. So yeah. Um, we might do that. We can do that later, though. So, but I like your dedication. Maybe because of migrations, I expected the mass extinction to be like there are no more birds anymore at all. Yeah. I think migrations were set in future though. Um, we are not quite there yet. There are many species that already went extinct, and many species that are on the brink of extinction, but not quite that bad yet. But I think it's not far from how it will look like at some point in the future. I have no idea how long, but at some point probably. Okay, so the author probably used just read Sylvia Plath. Got it. I hated the bell jar. I hated it. And now you're saying it, I have similar hate for this book as I have for the bell jar. I think I hated the bell jar more. This one I just didn't get. This one just went whoop. But the bell jar I actively didn't like. But there is something to be said about it, I'm sure. Yeah, the madness felt a lot like mania sometimes. Yes, yes. Um, so I don't think the madness or the craziness or anything was said in any kind of disrespectful way in here. I think it was more kind of like um, setting up the mood that there is something wrong and that something will go wrong. Kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. I have maybe two climate books that I own. Always looking for more. Okay. Maybe you can say which ones you have. If you would like to read those, we can try to make that happen. And I can expand my climate library. So we can do that too. I listened to the Anthropocene Reviewed and the part that talked about the last of a certain kind of bird in Hawaii. The audio played the bird's call. It was heartbreaking. I have not read that one, but I do want to. But I can't find it on audiobook. Maybe it's on Audible. Maybe I could just get it on Audible, but it's not on script, or I can't find it anyway. But I am interested in that one. So yeah, I that sounds like interesting book. Oh, okay. All right. So after trashing this book, we should go for the copile system. Um, I read it and don't remember anything about the bird. Oops. Maybe it didn't. If you were maybe not listening to the audiobook, maybe it didn't leave the same. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Impression on you. Um, since can't play the sound in the book most often. Yeah, I don't love all his fiction, but Anthropocene was 5-star for me. Maybe I just like him as a human. All right. I will check that out, or I will definitely try. I was looking at it before already, but never was able to find it easily. So I will keep looking. But yeah, okay. If we go for the copile, we start with characters. What do we think about characters of weather? I would say, that I don't like them or that I didn't like them doesn't mean they should get bad rating. I think if you don't like a character, it still could have been written well. My throat is really dry. So I'm not sure it means really low rating. Because again, this had no plot, it feels like. It was very, yeah, stream of consciousness, so very much character thoughts and descend into madness, as I mentioned. Oh yeah, and I was thinking about this book as like the category "What the heck did I just read?" but not in a good way. So yeah, kind of felt bad for the brother's wife, ex-wife, whatever. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Wait, no, in the book, not Anthropocene reviewed the author. You mean in the book? Yeah. She seemed nice, but Lizzie was mean to her too, in her head anyway. I definitely don't have to like all the characters, but I have to be interested in following them, and I was not. Fair point. Yes, in the book. Whatever, sorry. No, no worries. My brain was just going backwards. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a little poor ex-wife. But you're right about like you don't need to like the characters, but you need to be interested in them. And I wasn't either. I wasn't interested in the book whatsoever. So what would we give the characters if you check the cheat sheet? Are they memorable? Were the secondary characters distinguishable, important, additive to the story? Did you care about what happens to the characters? Were they flat, one dimensional? Do you have a good idea of their personality? Would it be easy to describe them to a friend? And then I want to say maybe bad. A few good things, but overall not enjoyable. I think that's accurate. So 3 for characters. Because this book has messed with our logic. Yeah, it did. Personality, all assholes, except the kid. Yes. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think we can move on to atmosphere. What do we have for atmosphere though? I feel like there was nothing. How immersive was the read? Were you able to picture the setting, the characters, creatures? Was the energy in the scenes palpable or was it not very convincing? This one deserves 1. Abysmal. Shouldn't have been published. Needs serious work. There was no atmosphere in this. I didn't feel anything. There was no description. There was once it was raining and once it was hot, but that's it. Uh, Nothing. I agree. Nothing. So atmosphere gets 1. I'm being a bit brutal here, but I think this book deserves it. Writing. Writing description is: did you enjoy the writing style? No. Was the prose to your liking unique? To my liking, yes. No. Unique, yes. Was it hard to follow? Not very readable. It was both of those things. How was the dialogue to narration ratio? Did it flow very easily and felt beautiful but effortless at the same time? Would you be keen on picking up another book from this author, even if it's a different genre? No. I'm gonna say number. I think it kind of assumes you're already familiar with New York City. I am familiar with New York City, but I guess not enough then. What was I supposed to recognize? I didn't recognize anything from this book from New York. But I love New York, so uniquely bad. -10. Yeah, writing's gonna get like 2 from me because it was unique. I'll give it that, but that's it. Plot. Wait, here first. Also, kind of felt like the author was dropping different ethnicities, like she wanted diversity points or something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, especially they lived in some neighborhood, the Pakistani neighborhood or whatever it was called, and they were the only white ones there. Like, it was a little strange, no? I don't know. Why was that important? It was repeated couple times. What plot? I know! There is no plot. There is zero plot. What does the description say? Was the pacing good? Were there any parts of the story where you thought things have dragged on and got a bit tedious? The entire thing, from first word until last. Was overall plot satisfying? Were the reveals worth the journey? No. Was this plot in any way unique from the other books you've read? There was no plot, so no. Has it left you wanting to know more? No. Was it too complex, too bland, or just right? Too bland. There was nothing. Okay. I think plot gets. There was no plot. The only plot is she starts to working for the mentor and um, replying to the emails. So there is a little like plot, like kind of character development, you would say, but I think there was something about someone looking European, which yeah, there was a European accent. European accent. Which lol, what does that mean? Like, yeah. I mean like clearly European accent, like, okay, what does European accent mean? There are like 20, 30, 30, 40 different languages in Europe. What accent are you talking about? I actually yelled, it's over, that's it? It just stopped on the audio. That was quite abrupt. Did you want more? Oh, it was an accent. That's even worse. Yeah. Like how do you have an European accent? Like, is that French? Is that British? Is that Russian? Is that German? Is that Italian? Spanish? Swedish? What is it? Czech? Like, I can tell if people are speaking English. I can tell, not 100%, of course, but many times, if the person is Czech or Russian based on how they speak in English. Like, there are so many different accents in Europe. European accent, lol. I know. I know. Like, what is that? Hell no. I didn't want more. Yeah, I know. It was so bad. I'm sorry for picking this book. Plot is like one, seriously. Intrigue, though. What do we think of intrigue? Were you wishing you could be reading this book instead of doing whatever you were doing? Well, yes, because I wanted to finish it for the book club, but otherwise, no. Did it take some mental convincing to pick it back up? Were you intrigued to see where the story goes? What happens to the characters? How things will evolve? Did the story hold your attention throughout, or was it not consistent? Yeah, I think I could pick out at least the proper region, if not the country. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. European accent. Like, all right. What the hell? Um, 0. You know, with intrigue, I'm gonna be a bit generous, I think. It's like an American accent. Do people know how much area my damn country covers? I know, like American accent. Like you can. Hmm. There is like okay, American English. It's not an accent. Because yeah, you can tell like Southern California, or I can tell. I'm not very good at accents, but when it comes to the US, I can tell the Southern California. I can tell, I think, like Southern accent, and wonder if I could say like Midwest, but I'm not sure because that one is just too familiar to me, so I would just think that's normal. So I wouldn't hear that that's Midwest specifically. I'm not good at accents. Anyway, intrigue, I think I'm going to be a little bit generous there because I did want to know when if it turns any better or if it turns into total madness or how far we're going to go with the climate crisis. Spoiler alert, we didn't get far at all. Um, at all. I expected much more. It wasn't described like nothing. I don't know, it was really weird. um so I think there was some intrigue. I was organizing stuff around my room and thinking how thankful I was to have earbud things now, so I wasn't stuck in one place just reading it. Yeah, I get that. And I was reading it physically because I didn't get the audiobook. I wasn't able to get it, so I I think I give intrigue like 4. I think I was quite curious, but not because it was good, but because I just wanted to know. I'm just curious person. So intrigue is 4, I think. Waiting to see if it gets better. It's like watching a video of a car crash with a test dummy and wondering whether it will indeed crash. Now that was a little mean. To the book, I mean, not to me. But I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I should have seen like that it just. But I thought it would have some kind of like big, you know, climax, if that's what we want to use. Um, but yeah, okay, okay. High spoiler alert warning. What did we think of the ending? What did it mean? I can read it to you again to know. Okay, I should put the banner that says spoilers. Spoilers. So if anybody jumps in, they can see we're talking spoilers. Like something that would tie the randomness together by the end. Yeah, something that would escalate. That something definitive would happen at the end. That we are going towards one point. Um, that something would happen, but nothing did. Yeah, read it again because I just remember it was abrupt. Yeah, okay. Spoilers, everybody. If you don't want to know, this is the last couple sentences of the book, so very high spoilers. I'm going to read it. So, in the end, yeah, Ben, the husband, comes back and he forces her to go to the dentist to take care of her teeth. Um, so, after the dentist, whatever, they go to sleep. Um, and she says, he turns out the light, arranges the blanket so we'll stay warm. The dog twitches her paw softly against the bed. Dreams of running, of other animals. I awake to the sound of gunshots. Walnuts on the roof, Ben says. The core delusion is that I am here and you are there. That's the end. What does it mean? Awake to the sound of gunshots. Walnuts on the roof, Ben says. The core delusion is that I am here and you are there. The core delusion was mentioned a couple times through the book. So maybe I would need to read it again to connect the dots with the core delusion. But yeah, I don't know what to think of this. What happened? Did someone die? Did Henry kill himself? Gunshots. Is she thinking of the dude who works in war zones? Ah, of Will. But then what does it mean the core delusion is that I am here and you are there? Does it mean that they are together? Maybe she and Henry both killed themselves. I don't know. Wanna be poetic, confusing endings are not my favorites. No, me neither. Does she have some kind of PTSD? Maybe. Or did someone on the street just shoot someone and the author is trying to make us wonder? I think that would be too random. I think that will be too random in my opinion, but maybe. Like she's longing for the other dude when her husband is there. Maybe. Does anyone own a gun in the book? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. Is he talking about gun laws? I don't see that, but honestly, I have no idea. Or the sound of a gunshot is metaphor for something waking her up. The walnuts. I think the key sentence is the core delusion is that I am here and you are there. But what does that mean? Like metaphorically waking up to something happening around her. Yeah, I guess. Ooh, like that you mean. That is too sophisticated for me. I wake to the sound of gunshots. Walnut on the roof, Ben says. The core delusion is that I am here and you are there. So that yeah, that could explain it though. Because then it's trying to say that that's the illusion that we are on our own, that the real thing is that, or like the what we should be, like we should be all together and we are all in it together. Could that be it? Or snapping out of her delusions? Maybe. So I don't know, sorry. I don't know either. Or giving up, giving in, and just embracing the madness, or whatever she means. Yeah, I don't know. No one knows, Alex. This shit makes no sense. Exactly. Exactly. Wait, I wanna check Goodreads if they say anything. They have sometimes like notes or something. So I wanna see if there are any notes from the author or people asking or something. Um, I don't see anything though. More information. Women's Prize for Fiction nominee. Oh my gosh. Really should not ever try to read those books. I never had a good experience with Women's Prize for Fiction book. And I just bought one of them, like another one. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, no, I don't see anything. That's fine. Um, a lot of the positive reviews I saw seemed really vague, just saying it was beautiful and different. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that they didn't say much. Only that it was so different and beautiful and yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it. Anyway, in logic. Logic. Okay. Next is logic. We have no logic. Were the characters acting in accordance to their motives? Were they clear? Were you able to follow the rules of the world? Were those rules broken at any point? Did you have to stop at any point because things did not make sense? Or you found plot holes? Was the world building sufficient, overwhelming, clear? Do you think the author has left too much unclear? Yes. Or overburdened you with unnecessary information? Did it feel like everything fit the story, setting, motives, backgrounds perfectly? No. I'm glad other people had the same thoughts because I thought maybe it was just too much lit fic for me and I just don't get that genre. No. Like there are plenty of literary fiction that I actually enjoy. This one is not one of it. I am currently reading another one. It is called Scattered All Over the Earth. And it also, I would say, could qualify as climate fiction. Let me check that if it is climate fiction. But something like kind of like apocalypse, not apocalypse, but like raising sea levels are kind of the point of the story. It says dystopia. So maybe not necessarily climate fiction, but could be. And that one I'm enjoying. And it's Japanese author, which Japanese books I usually don't enjoy that much. And that one is great. So no, it's this book's problem, honestly. Logic. She doesn't live here. Everything is unclear, Kopal. Everything. I don't know. Maybe it's about the climate change issue as in she becomes aware. Yeah, but also very arrogant. She's very arrogant and she judges other people for being arrogant, not seeing that she is too. Like what's actually going on around her instead of just giving in to her panic. I don't know. I don't know. Logic, non existent. There was some when the ex wife of the brother divorced him finally, and when Ben left her too. There were some logical things. I'm gonna say 3. Gonna be nice. Could literally be anything. Yes, it could. Because she spends a lot of the book identifying problems in other people without ever recognizing that she has the same problems exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. And she sees so many issues in other people, and then she's like, she doesn't see that she's the same, actually. But yeah, last one. Last category is enjoyment. And I don't know, enjoyment. It read fast. That was the only enjoyable thing about it. It read very fast. Otherwise, I did not enjoy it whatsoever. Because she spends a lot of. Oh, yeah, then I read that. I would love it if that's what you woke up to reality. Maybe. Could be. That actually adds up. -10 again. Yeah, enjoyment. I just like that it was short and fast. I'm gonna give it 1.5 to be nice. So, we went through the entire compile. What is the final rating of this book? What do we think? Some of us got a 1 or 1.5 if you want to go for 1.5 stars. And see, I was generous. But we were talking like 1 to 10. So when I said 3, it's not like middle, it was like half of middle, quarter. So yeah, came pretty bad rating. I think I gave it a 2 overall because it wasn't the worst thing ever, and definitely not as bad as a 1 star. I mean, wasn't it? I wouldn't read another book by this author, and I wouldn't read another book if anybody would be like, oh, if you like the weather, you're gonna like this, and then I'm gonna be in hell no. No. So it could be a 1 star for me. Absolutely. 1 star has to give me rage or actively be offensive throughout. Okay, fair enough. I think for me, yeah, I don't think it's fair to give it 2 stars because I give 2 stars to Babel and to Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and to the Poppy War, which all were way better than this. So I really don't feel right giving these 2 stars. So I think we're gonna stick with 1 for this. 1.5. So this was not a great book club read. We didn't get to talk much about climate whatsoever. The climate caused her to go into madness, to descend into madness, but there was nothing about climate to talk about. So, yeah. I read a book once with no chapters, just straight stream of consciousness. There were only a few paragraphs breaks in the book. It was that bad. Okay, I see. So then you would want to give that book 1 star and this one like 2 because it's a little bit better. Yeah, for me that's not enough. So I think this gets 1. 1 point. I can give it 1.5. 1.5. Let's be nice. 1.5. So that's that. I think that's enough of trashing this book. Um, yes, way too late on the climate. Yeah, it was. It is classified as climate change and climate fiction, but honestly, no. Mm-mm. Wow, so generous with your half. I know, right? I think it's quite generous. Then I went in. I don't know if it was in the audiobook actually. You can turn off the comment so you can see me. At the end, after the last page, there is a website called the obligatory note of hope.com. And I went there, and when you go to obligatory note of hope, it takes you here. I can share my screen if you would like. I was like, I can as well check it out. So I did. I didn't read the entire thing, of course. Of course. I don't know why I said of course, but of course. There is a chicken. How can we imagine and create a future we want to live in? How can we contribute to the common good? There are people all over the world trying to answer these questions, in big ways, but also in small ways, in grand leaps, but also in fits and starts. I always thought it was ridiculous to try and fight for social change when I couldn't even get my own house in order. How could a meat eating, plane flying, march hating person like me ever find a place in the climate justice movement? But then I started to read about all the different ways ordinary people were refusing to give into fatalism and were exploring the possibilities of what they could do, what they might fight for in this half ruined world of ours. I think half ruined is a little too dramatic, but alright. There were saints among these accidental activists, but also stone cold hypocrites like me. Slowly, I began to see collective action as the antidote to my dithering and despair. There is a way in for everyone. Aren't you tired of all this fear and dread? It almost seems as if she wrote from her personal story, from her experience, the book, I mean. If she wrote this, it very much feels parallel to Lizzie. But Migrations was so good, and the climate book, I'm holding on to those two. Yes. Yes. I was thinking, like, we've got 2 for 2. The climate book and Migrations were great. And then the last 2 books, not so much. So far we have 50%. We have 2 more books to go. So hopefully they are better. It is written by the author. I am not sure. It does not say. But then you have tips for trying times, surviving dark moments of history. I don't know what that means. And then you have get involved, becoming part of the collective. So if you click on that, there are different movements described. I guess how they were created and how you can join. There are links to the websites. I'm not gonna read all of it now, but that's yeah, little beaver here, kind of cute. Tips for trying times. Read and reread. Everything significant that had earlier caught one's attention should be reread. The main impression you got from reading books in Leningrad during the siege was the enormity of the world, as opposed to the cramped, cold, dark room in which you sit by the guttering wick of an old lamp. All right. You can go through that on your own time if you want. I don't know what we are supposed to do here. I appreciate the chicken at least, yes. And the beaver. And here is Otter. How cute is the otter? Is that a meerkat? I like all the floof pictures. I think it's an otter. I think this is an otter. But maybe I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? I think that's an otter. So cute. Looks like someone's lockdown side project. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, could be. So it could be very well her website. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It is in the book. So I don't know if it says in the acknowledgements anything about the website. I don't think so. Notes, not much. Okay. Anyway, I think um oh, I see the face better now. Definitely not. Yeah, I think so. Yes, that side is also badly written. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best. But yeah, I think that's it for the chat. I don't have much more to say. The next one will be better. I have a good feeling. Speaking of, yes, next one is What Climate Justice Means and Why We Should Care by Elizabeth Cripps. I'm not sure there is audiobook for this, but I have physical anyway because I just like to read these books physically so I can annotate, because if I do have also audiobook, I find it annoying to pause if I want to annotate. So I prefer to read them physically. What does it say? We have a description here. Climate change is happening. It's uprooting communities and cutting short lives. I can maybe take the banner off. Sorry for the disruption. It's uprooting communities and cutting short lives, and it will only get worse. We owe it to our fellow humans to save them from escalating floods and wildfires, cyclones, and spreading disease. We owe them climate justice. In this passionate and pragmatic book, philosopher Elizabeth Cripps approaches climate justice not just as an abstract idea, but as a critical goal that should motivate us all. Using clear reasoning and poignant examples based on irrefutable science and uncontroversial moral concepts, she explores our obligations to each other, to future generations, and to the non human world. This book rejects all the common excuses for inaction, unravels the legacy of colonialism and racism, and makes the case for change now. It provides a blueprint for what climate justice would look like, dissects the Paris Agreement on climate change to show how far politicians have fallen short, and asks where we go from here. As Scripps shows, climate justice transcends political affiliation and individual belief, making climate activism a moral obligation for us all. So it's going to be interesting. Released 2022, published in Great Britain 2022, and I think it's going to be very interesting. I wonder if it's going to be very much focused on like certain areas, so like the US and UK, but I see there are plenty of other places mentioned. I saw Uganda, I saw the US. Yeah, there seems to be plenty places. I saw one more, Peru. So this is gonna be interesting, and yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I've been listening a lot lately to more like moderate views. So now it's like kind of balancing out for me all the voices from the right and voices from the left, especially in the American um, politics, which of course is very different from politics in Europe, or at least mostly. So it's not quite the same here, but yeah, I've been listening to everything. And so this might be very interesting because I know people like the conservatives um, don't like to talk about climate change, and they don't like to talk about racism all that much. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this is done and if it's done like very convincingly, because I think the what can I do by Jane Fonda that had really great examples of situations when climate justice was really important and why racism played role in climate change, or the other way around. But then in the climate book, it wasn't explained well at all. There was like 2 pages of it, but like I don't know, I didn't like the examples. So I'm really excited for this and to learn more definitely and dig deeper. So I hope this is gonna be great. Just ordered it. Nice. Huzzah Book Outlet, amazing. The synopsis already said more about climate than the whole book. Whether yes, that is true. So it's gonna be more related, I'm sure. Lots of people in my country are loud and wrong. Yes. Yeah. I mean, they all think they are right, of course. And I personally believe the truth most often is somewhere in the middle, to be honest. Don't hate me for saying that, please. I don't live there, so I don't see everything, of course. But just overall, from what I hear on the internet, what I see on the internet, in general, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Um, and nobody is 100% right or 100% wrong, in my opinion. But that's a whole another discussion. So I'm really excited to read this one and hopefully learn a lot. So that's going to be very exciting. And yeah, that's it for now. We're gonna talk more about what books we're gonna read next year later. It's still only September, so I'm gonna make some polls or something later on, probably on the book club's website, more so than on my YouTube, I believe. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's it. So, any last thoughts before we wrap it up? We just totally trashed weather and so excited for what climate justice means. And yeah, that's it. Um, yes, I'll put the two I have on the list then. Yes, do that. Can like you can add books on the book clubs, right? Like you can suggest books, or I'm not sure how that works, but yeah. Thank you for suffering with us, turtles. We appreciate you. Yes, thank you, both of you. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for reading it, so we can discuss it. I am sorry it was not good. I was convinced it was amazing. It was. I actually bought it based on recommendation from um, Ariel Ariel Bissett. She talked about I think like climate books or like books about climate, and she very highly recommended this. So I was like, all right, I'll read it. I do not trust Ariel Bissett anymore. So I'm sorry that I put you through this, but we can move on now onto hopefully better books. I'll go play in the app and see. Sorry, we both had to read it. Yes. Don't listen to her Rex anymore. Nope, I don't think I will. But yeah, that's it for the discussion. Thank you very much for joining me, for hanging out with me. Also, you, Daniela, for just watching us suffer. Thank you, Alex, for pitching in as well. Very happy to have you here. And yeah, it's good to see what you don't like sometimes too, though. What do you mean? You mean like I like all the books? Oh, you mean like it? Yeah, like it's good sometimes to read not good books. But yeah, thank you for leading it and helping me remember, of course. It was fun. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you, everyone else, for showing up. Yes. Great. Thank you very much, guys. Happy rest of Labor Day over to the US. And the rest of us have a great rest of the evening and good night. And I will talk to you tomorrow on my sprints. So thank you very much. And yeah, have a good night. Bye.